Do you remember Civil War in the scene where they were trying to convince Cap to sign the Sokovia Accords, and he just got finished dealing with Shield being infiltrated by Hydra. So he's like, yeah, that's the thing about these organizations and these treaties and the UN Council, is that they're run by people, and people have agendas. I bring it up because when you look at outlets such as Time or NBC or Sports Illustrated or ESPN, all of these long-standing networks and you know outlets and publications, they're run by people, and people have agendas. So let's go through this think piece on NBC Think. Miley Cyrus's split with Liam Hemsworth isn't just celebrity gossip, it's a blow to the patriarchy. Women like Cyrus are speaking out about sexuality in ways that put the power and responsibility back into their own hands. Okay, this is nonsense from the jump, okay? This is nonsense from the from the third line. And the responsibility, nah, not really, because if you were more responsible, the abortion debate wouldn't be a debate. Now, would it? If it was about responsibility, the abortion debate wouldn't be a debate, because every single woman would take responsibility for her very own vag. You know? And be like, oh, okay, well, wait a second. All I have to do is not take a cream pie in order to avoid the an abortion. Well, sure, okay, cool. It's simple enough. I mean, I can handle that. Can ya? So let's be real, okay? Let's be very real. There's a reason that there's two of us, that we are supposed to be working together. We're supposed to be working in sync with one another. There is an alpha, there is a beta, and it does fluctuate depending on the persons and the circumstances involved. But for the most part, you just biologically, by the way we were formed, it's us. It's guys. We are the ones with the responsibility. Make no mistake. By Marcy Bianco. Okay, there we go. Over the past week, an assortment of trending stories, from Jeffrey Epstein to the Dayton and El Paso mass shooters, to Miley Cyrus's separation and Julian Huff's declaration that she's not straight, together have laid bare the strictures of an American patriarchy on the edge of a nervous breakdown, as the status quo, heterosexuality, is just not working. And that's what everybody and their mother really took from this. It was like, yo, NBC said that heterosexuality is just not working. And the funniest thing, it's just such a and it's female logic. This really is female logic, Marcy, because how does anybody get here? If everybody is of the homosexual persuasion, then exactly what is, like, how do we continue? How do we go on? I mean, for real. As a snapshot of 2019 America, these stories present a startling picture. Men continue to coerce, harass, forcibly enter and kill girls and women, and go to extreme lengths to avoid responsibility for their actions, as do women. Women have killed girls, women and boys. They have harassed, they have coerced. It happens literally every day. I mean, awful has no biological sex. A terrible person is a terrible person, and I'm telling you, I think that's where equality truly lies, is in depravity. On the other side of the issue, girls and women are challenging heterosexuality, even absconding from it altogether. And trust me, as someone who has seen how those relationships tend to go, I don't know, man. You might be fighting something within yourself. Framed differently, the picture is this. The men need heterosexuality to maintain their societal dominance over women. Women, on the other hand, are increasingly realizing not only that they don't need heterosexuality, but that it also is often the bedrock of their global oppression. I'm going to have a hard time getting through this article, aren't I? I'm going to have a hard time getting through this article. This is ridiculous. Their global oppression. Like Dave said, man, you was in on the scheme. You was in on the plan. You just don't like your cut. All right. Patriarchy is at its most potent when oppression doesn't feel like oppression, or when it is packaged in terms of biology, religion, or basic social needs, which is why the gender thing was tossed into the mix, because, oh my goodness, yes, men and women are the exact same thing. We are completely equal and we have the same brains. No. No, we clearly do not, because none of this makes any sense if you're not looking at it from particularly the biological angle. All right, I mean, when it comes to religion or basic social needs, the deal is that yeah, we need each other. We are a what's the name? We're like these individual, particularly coming out of Hollywood, examples are just the worst kind to have, because when you got more money than sense, then you're like, yo, you're bound to do anything. When you have access to such decadence, then yeah, by all means, indulge, have fun. But there is such a thing as regular people, and regular people, nah, fam, nah, not even. And y'all trying to sit here and say, oh well, this abnormal behavior is being normalized, and it is in areas such as New York and LA and Chicago, and the places where the depravity is truly allowed to fester. But within the grander schemes of things, it's still abnormal. It will remain abnormal. And guess what? There is not one single relationship, particularly that of Miley Cyrus or Hemsworth, can change that. I'm sorry. It just you're kind of gonna have to just deal with it. So sorry. My goodness. So that was that whole thing. Or basic social needs like security, comfort, acceptance, and success. Heterosexuality offers women all these things as selling points to their consensual projection. Or women are actually attracted to men. That I don't know. I mean, something tells me that Marcy here is definitely on the pansexual bandwagon. But yeah, women are attracted to men. Just because you may not have met a man that you're attracted to, trust me, there are women that are very attracted to men. Historically, women have been conditioned to believe that heterosexuality is natural or innate, because that's how they got here. Just as they have been conditioned to believe that their main purpose is to make babies, because that's how society and civilization continues. And if they fail to do so, they are condemned as not real or as bad women, which is a sentiment that I do not agree with. I mean, it's your life. Do with it as you please. But we are all creatures that have existed for thousands of years. So it's since we were organisms, if you believe in evolution. So real talk, the way that this functions is that yeah, at the biological level, yes, that's exactly what we are here to do. We are here to reproduce and continue to replenish the earth. But so to sit here and say like, oh yeah, well, women, saying they're conditioned to believe that, no, it's a part of the biological makeup, and trying to dismiss it is just it's folly. It's how you end up with nonsense like Antifa and drag queen story hours. And if they fail to do so, they are condemned as not real or bad. Okay. Celebrities are not always at the vanguard of feminist thought, but both Julian Hough and Miley Cyrus have recently spoken out about sexuality in ways that put the power and responsibility back in their own hands. In the Women's Health September cover story, Hough, an actress and a Dancing with the Stars champion, if she was on Dancing with the Stars, yeah, that career is over, describes her potential transformation, which included delayering all the survival tactics I've built up my whole life. Okay, you know how to hunt? Or do you know how to use your feminine whim? One of the survival tactics, she says, meant connecting to the woman inside that doesn't need anything, versus the little girl that looked to my husband to protect me. She voices concern that her husband will respond negatively to this newfound self-sufficiency. I was like, is he going to love this version of me? But the more I dropped into my most authentic self, the more attracted he was to me. Now we have a more intimate relationship. Okay. This chick's a millionaire. Like I said, different worlds. Part of the intimacy entailed telling her husband that she was not straight, but had chosen to be with him. Well, why? Thank you. This is an inspiration. This is an inspirational statement because it offers a new model for women to enter into heterosexual relationships with men that redefines the power dynamic. Yeah, good luck with that. Well, actually, with all these single mothers, these products of single mothers running around here, maybe you might do some well, but not with a man you'll be sexually attracted to. I think there's a safety with my husband now that I'm unpacking all of this. Huff continues, and there's no fear of voicing things that I've been afraid to admit or that I've had shame or guilt about because of what I've been told or how I was raised. So, I mean, I'm not. I gotta say, as a heterosexual man, if my wife was like, "Hey, I want to start, eating chicks," I'm like, "Shit, all right, cool. Let's get into this." I'll be very comfortable with that by all means. Miley Cyrus, you can start a whole harem, yeah. Let's do that, man. I always wanted a stable. Thank you, baby. I appreciate you for Christmas. Miley Cyrus has never been shy about discussing her own personal sexuality or displaying it. In 2015, the Wrecking Ball singer said, "I don't associate men and protection necessarily because she has money." In a Time magazine interview, "I think that's what's given me the openness of sexuality." Shortly after, it was announced that Cyrus and her husband, Liam Hemsworth, were splitting up. Photos of the singer kissing a woman in Italy made the tabloid rounds, because there are people with nothing better to do with their lives. But even before the breakup, Cyrus embraced her non-heterosexual identity in Elle's August cover story, in language that echoed Hoff's ownership of and responsibility for her sexuality and marriage choices. See, isn't Hoff like past the wall, though? Sweetheart, you can get pumped full of all the cum you want. You'll be fine. Cyrus noticed that she made a partner decision by choosing to marry Hemsworth in late 2018 because he was, she explained, the person I feel has my back most, which is pretty good reason to marry. I mean, there's a pretty good foundation for a relationship. Shortly after, it was announced that Cyrus and her husband were okay. Cyrus thoughtfully explains how her sexuality is both distinct from and influences her definition of what a relationship looks like. Being someone who takes such pride in individuality and freedom, and being a proud member of the LGBTQ plus community, oh, Jesus Christ, she writes in a person, and this is how you make yourself a victim. She writes in a personal memo in Vanity Fair in February, "I've been inspired by redefining again what a relationship in this generation looks like. Sexuality and gender identity are completely separate from partnership." She's rich again. Once again, she's rich. Like, when you got more money than you know what to do with, you really just get bored and come up with all types of brand new shit. Trust me, if she was making, like 15 per hour and the husband was sitting there making, 40 grand a year, they'd definitely be, like more focused on other things than my sexuality. Like, nah, we gotta pay this mortgage. She added that her goal for 2019 was to live carefree but not careless, a brilliant distinction that could serve as a mantra for anyone in a marriage, straight or gay. The difference between carefree and careless in a way represents the ideological division in the definition of freedom. Oh my goodness. To be free is not to have the power to do anything you like, Simone de Beauvoir writes in The Ethics of Ambiguity. Indeed, Friedrich Nietzsche asserted that freedom is the will to be responsible for ourselves. And this responsibility carries over from the wait, Nietzsche, you're quoting a guy. Come on. And this responsibility carries over from the self to society, which is why, according to Toni Morrison, isn't that a dude? He was in a band, right? The function of freedom is to free someone else. Oh, Jesus Christ. So there it is. They want you all to basically be pansexuals, okay? Like, hey, stick anything up there, have fun. Weirdos, man. The function of freedom is to free someone else. For Audre Lorde, this definition of freedom is a social contract. I am not free while any woman is unfree, even when her shackles are very different from my own. How about you just mind your damn business? Like, seriously. Just mind your damn business. This is a far cry from the type of freedom espoused by those on the right, from whom freedom, as I wrote in an early article on how misogyny is the driver of mass shootings in America, because, yeah, it's the fact that a lot of those kids come from broken homes. That doesn't That no correlation is conflated with the domination. In this context, freedom is actually possessed by a select few, as it is dependent upon the oppression, rather than the liberation of disempowered people, particularly women and minorities. And there you go with your whole fun intersectionality nonsense. Lady, you don't speak for me. Yeah. Cyrus and Hoff's respective declarations does more than raise visibility for the queer community at large. It is a powerful assertion of their bodily autonomy and control over their sexuality. Women's sexual liberation has always had a place in feminism. See, this stuff is just poison. In The Second Sex, Bavua explains that freedom is recognized as women's sexual activity. And that this freedom not only rests in self-possession, but in self-accountability. You definitely need your accountability, buddy. And this notion that an adult is responsible for their own sex life, how they have sex, who they have sex with, when, where, and how they have sex portrays a sharp contrast in our culture, where men seem to never have to take responsibility for their actions. Women always must take responsibility for not only their own actions, but the actions of men. Okay, that's complete nonsense, okay? For the past 30 years, trust me, I've dipped my wick in plenty of ink. Because, oh, she likes me. She thinks I'm funny. She thinks I'm cute. And that's really all it took. So, like, let's be real. And it doesn't happen to me because I definitely have the world's greatest pullout game, but also because I definitely wear rubbers as well. I've seen, men trapped, men put in just terrible positions, and ultimately the children being the ones that suffer the most. Men and the children are the ones that suffer by far from the men and the women's actions, instead of accept it. And when they sit here talk about taking responsibility, they're not. They're sitting there saying, hey, everything that's taken place, all the reason everything's wrong in the world is because of men. And that's nonsense. That's completely nonsense, when I can personally attest to plenty of situations where the woman knew the type of dude she was laying down with. She went and got knocked up by him, but now it's a completely different story after she gets knocked up and she becomes a mother, and she's like, oh my goodness, well, you're not this terrible, you're not this good dude, and you changed. And he's not the one that changed. She's the one that changed after she had the baby. I mean, it happens literally every day, and there are kids that are just with no future because of it. Because there was just a complete lack of responsibility on both ends. So stop it. And the culture that we've put forward has done absolutely nothing but propagate it with the welfare state. Hey, just go, thank you, government. You're my real baby daddy. Like, come on, y'all, miss me. Absconding from responsibility is the quintessential strategy of the patriarchy. Without that welfare state, darling, trust me, without the endless government programs that have been put into place to elevate women, particularly over the last 40 years, when you look at the graduation rates, there are more women that are graduating from college. I mean, yeah, most of them have worthless degrees, but they're graduating from college at a higher rate. There's stories of standards being dramatically, and yeah, no, that's not a word, but I just love saying it, dramatically dropped from standards being dropped all over the place to accommodate the quote unquote fairer sex. So what are you talking about? Oh, this patriarchy loves its daughters. It goes out of its way to make sure that its daughters are so well provided and protected for that they can't even see that all they are really from is a major cataclysmic event to going back to you gotta hunt for your food and shit. Seriously. So don't even start with that nonsense. It's how men stay in control and never lose their power. We can't. It's a power that, trust me, you wouldn't know what to do with it if you had, darling. As Lord wrote in Sister Outsider, the cost of those who not only have carry the responsibility of others, but to educate them too, is our own liberation, agency, and self-creation. The oppressors maintain their position and evade their responsibility for their own actions. There is a constant drain of energy which might be better used if redefining ourselves and devising realistic scenarios for altering the present and constructing the future. Jesus. Oh my goodness, the name Audre Lorde is very familiar to me, but this is why the Bible says, yeah, women shouldn't be teaching. While men stew in their mess, women are rising. They're taking back control of their lives and their bodies, and they are questioning the foundation of the patriarchy, heterosexuality, that has kept them blindly subordinate for centuries, and will keep them blindly subordinate until the heat depth of the universe. Okay? Like, because it's not blind subordination. We have roles, men and women. In order for society to continue to go and thrive, you have kids, have grandkids, have great grands, and your great grands have great grands, your great grands have great grands, and all this other stuff. We all somebody's child, right? So, like, and guess what got us there? Heterosexuality, genius. This, oh my goodness, Marcy Bianco. Do you have a picture here? Oh, Marcy Bianco does not have a picture. A feminist critique of compulsory heterosexual orientation for women is long overdue. Adrienne Rich wrote in her 1980 feminist classic, Compulsory Heterosexuality and Lesbian Existence. Like I said, about 30, 40 years. It looks like this critique has finally arrived to the mainstream because you, Marcy, have brought it here, and I did this video, hopefully, along with everyone else, to stuff that back on in the bag. Family. What are you trying to do? What is your goal? What is your agenda? What are you trying to accomplish? I'm very curious. But with that being said, we're gonna bring this one to an end. I've never really found her all that attractive. Like honestly, I just like she got some is she a 35%er? Yeah, but I mean, as you know from my history, it's not hard to catch that 35% now. So with that being said, we're going to bring this to an end. All the internet stuff. If you liked it, toss it a like. Dislike, go ahead, do that too. I ain't scared of you. Sub if you enjoy my fantastic voice and you want to get videos like this every single day. Share because sharing is caring. And YouTube, I don't know if they like me like that, you know? And speak. Let me know what you think in the comments. Has heterosexuality seen its end? Is it like, like... will everything just be replaced? Will vaginas be replaced by butts? As someone who's definitely been in all three holes, yeah, they all feel different, I gotta say. And one is the best, okay? So let's be real, okay? So let me know what you think in the comments, and until the next one.